Constable Andy Pattenden is the York Regional Police spokesperson and joins us now live from Aurora, Ontario. Pretty remarkable story here. Constable, if you could first start by telling us about that 911 call, when you got it, and what this little boy told police.
Yeah, it really is an amazing story. And that call came into us on Wednesday, just before 4:30 in the afternoon. And the call came into our 911 control center, and it was what we call a silent 911. So there was no voice contact initially. Our call taker called back the phone, and that's when the 9-year-old boy was there on the phone. And he was absolutely hysterical, scared as to what was taking place. A very disturbing call to listen to. I've heard it myself, and I can tell you that that boy was definitely scared as to what was happening. But our call takers did such an excellent job in getting him calmed down enough to give us the information that he did provide, and that was that he was a 9-year-old boy, that he was in the vehicle with his mom, a van, that they were driving in the area of King Township, and that he knew that his mom had been drinking and driving. So he provided us with some excellent information as to where they were, where he thought they were going, and thankfully officers were able to intercept that vehicle that actually traveled for about 10 minutes before it was stopped by our officers. And our call taker, towards the end of the call, did eventually get the mother on the line, and repeatedly asked her to stop and pull over the vehicle, and unfortunately she didn't. She hung up the phone, but thank goodness that our officers were able to get her stopped in the town of Newmarket.
And did the little boy say that he was scared by the way his mother was driving? Did you get the impression that he was concerned about any kind of erratic driving?
Yeah, you could definitely not only hear it in his voice, but there were some specific things that he did tell our call taker that are the essence of the call, that unfortunately we can't release all the details of that at this point in time, because it is now a case before the courts. But just the inflection in his voice, the sheer terror that you could hear just coming from his mouth during that call, there was no doubt he was scared.
I understand the mother was arrested and released. What charges, if any, can you tell us that she may be facing now?
So she was arrested at the side of the road once the vehicle got stopped for impaired driving. She was taken to our Newmarket headquarters for a breath test. And as you mentioned, she did provide a sample of her breath, which was over twice the legal limit for alcohol. She was charged with impaired driving as well as over 80. So the process there is that she is released pending a future court date.
And her 9-year-old son, where is he now?
Well, at the side of the road, he went to the back of a cruiser and was comforted by officers. He was still shaken up at the time, but after that, his father was called to the scene, and his father took custody of the child. And as well, the Children's Aid Society have been contacted as a result.
Constable Pattenden, it's heart-wrenching to hear of a little boy sobbing and so terrified making that phone call. It's also a remarkable story of bravery. What did you think? Have you ever encountered a case like this?
I definitely haven't, and you used the word heart-wrenching, and that's exactly what it is. I mean, being a police officer, sitting at my desk listening to that 911 call, it is heart-wrenching, and unfortunately we can't put out the 911 call to the public to hear it right now because it is evidence before the courts. But if there is a silver lining to any of this at all, it's that there was a 9-year-old boy who was switched on enough to know that there was something that was wrong and had the guts and the bravery to pick up that phone and call 911 and bring an end to a situation. It was basically a criminal offense in progress, brought an end to it. And we've had some real tragedies on the roads in York Region this year as a result of drinking and driving. And who knows, maybe this 9-year-old boy prevented another tragedy. So far in our region, we've had over 1,500 charges laid with regards to impaired driving. That's up even from last year at this time, where it was about 1,300. But I can tell you, anything more than one is an unacceptable number of drunk drivers on our roads.
Thanks for sharing the details on this. If nothing else, it's a story of a very bright young boy, and you must be a bit heartened by the fact that clearly the message is getting out about calling 911. Thank you for your time.
It definitely is. He's a hero, and maybe an unsung hero, but a hero nonetheless.